Imagine waking up on an island where almost everyone is asleep, randomly slumped over in cars, lying on sidewalks, even underwater, and no matter what anyone tries, they can't wake up. Creepy, right? Well, that's exactly the strange and haunting world of a beautiful curse from 2021. Today, I'm going to take you through the entire story, so sit back, relax, and let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Recaps Hub podcast, your go-to place for full movie breakdowns, plot recaps, and endings explained. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more movie stories like this. The movie begins on a small island off the west coast, where a photographer named Samuel roams around taking pictures. Something's off. Most of the people he photographs are fast asleep in the strangest places. It turns out a bizarre crisis has hit the island. Just 3 days ago, people started falling asleep out of nowhere while driving cars, sitting in saunas, even while swimming underwater. At first, people were confused, but soon, it became clear those who fell asleep weren't waking up. They were stuck in some kind of coma. Doctors and researchers flooded the island in the past 72 hours, but no one found a cure. By now, almost every permanent resident is asleep. Some got lucky and collapsed in their homes. Others weren't so lucky, falling asleep in grocery stores, in cars, or right in the middle of work. Their bodies still function, but here's the creepy part. If anyone tries to move them, their pulse shoots up dangerously. The strangest detail, the phenomenon only affects permanent residents of the island. Outsiders are completely safe. Because of this, scientists set up camps, tagging every sleeper to monitor them. Reporters are banned, but somehow, Samuel manages to sneak inside during the chaos. He wanders onto a bus full of unconscious passengers, snapping photos, when he notices a woman clutching a goldfish. He takes it with him, almost as if the fish is now his only friend. Afterward, Samuel stumbles upon a house that looks safe enough to stay in. Inside, he discovers a woman asleep in her bed. Her name is Stella, one of the last people to fall asleep before the outbreak. Samuel respects her privacy and stays in another room, not realizing that researchers are just outside, keeping watch. Since anyone awake has been ordered to leave the island, he knows he'll be punished if he's caught. The following night, Samuel dreams of running into Stella at a grocery store. She barely notices him until he blurts out her name. To his shock, she actually responds, asking how he knows it. From then on, Samuel spends his days talking to sleeping Stella while listening to updates on the radio. The entire world is buzzing about the mysterious pandemic, while conspiracy theories start flooding in. Samuel laughs it off, treating his situation almost like an adventure. Exploring the island, he finds a handyman asleep while leaning against a tree, then stumbles across a church filled with unconscious people. Sitting among them, Samuel falls asleep, and in his dream, he and Stella are suddenly at a restaurant, chatting as if they've known each other forever. Stella disapproves of Samuel exploiting the situation for photos, but Samuel insists he's there for the experience, not money. Later, Samuel finds Stella's journal and begins reading it. The more he learns, the deeper his connection grows. In another dream, Stella explains she was among the last to fall asleep. The first person she saw collapse was her piano teacher, right in the middle of class. When Samuel asks if she was scared, she says she was more confused. Doctors only discovered that moving sleepers was dangerous, joking that if she got up, her heart might explode. When Samuel asks what it felt like to fall asleep, Stella says it was surreal, filled with vivid dreams, until she simply drifted away without realizing it. The next day, Samuel explores another part of the island. He finds a car filled with balloons, but when he spots health workers nearby, he panics and runs home. That's when it hits him, maybe it's time to leave. He packs up, says goodbye to Stella, and walks to the shore. But after staring at his boat for a long time, he decides he just can't go. When he returns home, something eerie happens. The faucet is running. Samuel remembers turning it off, so who turned it back on? Suddenly, he's pulled into another dream with Stella at the restaurant. This time, she asks why he really came to the island. Samuel admits the truth. A year ago, while on vacation, he saw her in a grocery store. He followed her to a restaurant, fascinated by her carefree nature. But he never got the chance to talk to her again until now. Later, Samuel sneaks into a grocery store for supplies. When researchers walk in, he pretends to be unconscious and avoids getting caught. He even pays the sleeping cashier before leaving. Back at Stella's, Samuel explores more of her belongings and finds a tape recorder in the attic. On it, Stella lists her favorite things: the sound of a typewriter, headless Barbie dolls, flamingo floaties, even driving on the beach. The more Samuel listens, the deeper his infatuation grows. Inspired, he imagines himself and Stella together borrowing a car from the unconscious residents to drive along the beach. Though he feels guilty, Dream Stella convinces him it's just borrowing. Samuel starts believing she's more than just a figment of his imagination. But his illusion gets tested when health workers arrive for a weekly checkup. He hides in a closet, narrowly escaping. Afterward, he spends hours lying beside Stella, talking to her as if she were awake. The next day, he listens to the second half of her tape. This time, Stella lists the things she hates, revealing her loneliness and vulnerability. Samuel feels helpless, wishing he could comfort her. In his dreams, they talk about soulmates. Samuel suggests maybe they're each other's, but Stella doesn't believe it. Eventually, Samuel tries to leave the island again, but halfway to the dock, he changes his mind, returning to Stella once more. That night, he gets high from Stella's stash, dreaming of the two of them smoking together. From then on, he dedicates himself to doing everything on her favorites list, making lasagna, drinking beer from a wine glass, even small things to feel closer to her. But Dream Stella eventually pushes back, furious. She insists the version of her he knows isn't real. Their relationship is just his imagination. Samuel admits she's right after all. He's never spoken to her while she's awake. Still, he can't shake his feelings. Soon, Samuel starts hallucinating. He feels unbearably thirsty, breaks into an apartment to drink water. But the more he drinks, the thirstier he gets. The walls close in, his anxiety spikes, and he realizes he's slipping into the same coma as the others. Just before he goes under, imaginary Stella calls him back home. Samuel rushes to Stella's house, deciding that if he's going to sleep forever, he wants to be next to her. The next morning, to his shock, he wakes up. Unsure how long he has left, Samuel spends the day writing heartfelt notes for Stella, apologizing for reading her journals and listening to her tapes. He reassures her that loneliness is normal, and that she should never hide who she really is. By evening, he too falls into a coma. Days later, Stella finally wakes up. Weak and drained, she notices little things like a second toothbrush and objects from her favorite list scattered around the house. She's surprised, then angry, realizing Samuel read her private journals. She lashes out, hitting him in rage, until she discovers the notes he left behind. Reading his words, her anger melts into emotion. Soon, Stella begins dreaming of Samuel just as he once dreamed of her. They talk about their likes, dislikes, fears, and dreams, and even though they've never truly met while awake, she feels deeply connected to him. She starts caring for him just as he cared for her. Then comes the morning when Stella wakes up late and finds a surprise. Samuel is no longer on the sofa. Instead, he's in the kitchen, awake. Their first real meeting feels more like lovers reuniting after decades. They shake hands, both smiling, knowing their strange bond was real all along. In the final scene, we're taken back to where it all began, the bus. The woman Samuel took the goldfish from wakes up. Only now, instead of one fish, she's holding two. And that's the full story of A Beautiful Curse 2021. A hauntingly beautiful tale about loneliness, dreams, and unexpected connections. What did you think about this one? Would you risk sneaking onto that island? Or would you stay far away? If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to Movie Recaps Hub podcast for more full breakdowns just like this. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.